were very dedicated. But of course today, Professor Kwame trains much more talented voices. But I think it was the fascination. The world had heard about these young people who were enslaved. The world questioned the place of the Negro, the African. And some of these young people as college students were out. And so significant was that original tour, which began on October 6, 1871, that at Fisk we celebrate October 6th as our Founders Day. The significance here again was that these young people demonstrated to the world that young African Americans could save their institution. They began a pattern and a practice, and almost from that, the newly formed colleges for the freedmen would all send out groups. And it's wonderful to think that a people can elevate itself. And that, I think, is the rich legacy, the continuing legacy of the Fisk Jubilee Singers. They remain today the most wonderful ambassadors that the college have for truly bright, articulate young students. And I'm always pleased to point out that most Jubilee Singers are also very excellent students. They graduate in 4 years. They aren't performers, they are students who share their gift of music with the world.
Very good. You know, Professor Kwame, as a member of the Fisk Jubilee Singers yourself, and as a person who now directs that group, let's look at some of the things that he talked about in terms of the opposition. Now, we do know that there might have been opposition to this group because singing took time away from their studies. But we also know that there was some opposition to the type of songs and the type of melodies that they sung during the period. And so let's have you, as a person who has been involved not only with the Jubilee Singers but with music itself, let's have you to talk about this kind of music and how that music fit within the area that we're talking about and the real opposition that people had to what they were doing.
Yes, as they started traveling, especially in the northern part of the United States, most people never thought that slaves, children of slaves could sing. And so in most of their concert programs, music that they sang were mainly classical types, Western type of music, with the idea that those were types of music that their audiences could more readily receive. The students themselves, the Jubilee Singers themselves, considered their own music, the spirituals, so sacred that they did not originally want to sing those songs. So in their concerts, they usually sang mostly Western music, classical music, and would throw in one or two of the spirituals as encore. In fact, it was the director, George White, who actually convinced them that the spirituals were being enjoyed, and so it would be good to increase the number of spirituals that they sang. We need to consider this, which is very important for people to know, that these are people who came out of Africa, and that made a big difference in the kind of music that they sang. We know that as the slaves were captured, they left everything they had behind except their religion and their music. So that they came with different elements of African music, which we hear in the spirituals that we sing today. I'm rather glad that even though they ran into a lot of opposition with people calling them minstrels, black minstrels and things like that, I believe that they had faith that came out through their singing to impress upon those audiences of those days. We still experience that today. We travel and we sing at places, make people cry, make people come and express to us how much we've planted seeds in their lives. So the difference in the music continues to make a great impact on people.
You know, Professor Kwame is so correct in what he said. Once they begin to perform the spirituals, once they begin to perform those formal songs, then it seemed as though the world opened up.
There was almost a natural outgrowth of what they were supposed to do. Let's take this few seconds of commercial time here, gentlemen, and then we'll come back and talk about some other aspects of the Fisk Jubilee Singers. And we'll be back with you following this short commercial break. Of the Fisk Jubilee Singers.